Hey guys, so I'm sure you've all been paying attention to the news the last couple of days, and I know I haven't posted in 2 days, and I'm sure you can guess as why. I kind of had to sit back and really soak all of this in as somebody that liked to watch Charlie Kirk. And if you aren't aware, Charlie Kirk was assassinated 2 days ago, and it was absolutely it was terrible. It was a terrible situation, and I had to sit back and really I could not believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it. And that's not what radicalized me. I've been fully radicalized over the past couple of days, really the past week, about what I've been seeing. It's social media's response. It's ridiculous. People on social media have all across the nation have proven themselves to just be some of the most disgusting, heartless pieces of shit that I have ever had the displeasure of ever witnessing that they were alive. It is insane. And if you think this hasn't affected me or my community, you would be absolutely wrong. I had to I had to remove my head Discord moderator because of this exact same situation. Another person reported on Charlie Kirk having been assassinated, and they assumed that it was a far left radicalized young person, which just turned out to be the fucking case. And do you know what my head mod said? They said, you should not be adding flames to the fire right now. You should not be increasing the rhetoric, when it's the rhetoric on the left that is increased to the point that this young man actually believed that Charlie Kirk was a fascist Nazi that did not want a good life for him, and that he needed to eliminate him to save America. And it's absolutely insane. And that's not why they were removed, by the way. I let them know that, hey, it's obviously a far left radical. We can assume it's very clearly probably the case, and we're allowed to make reasonable assumptions here as to who did this and as to why. And they went on to justify Charlie Kirk's death by saying that he spewed hateful rhetoric, he was a pro-life person, and that's why he deserved to die. And people in the past few days have proven to me, there have been people that have proven to me that they were just the pawn scum of the earth, and I would have never known it without this situation. I've seen different voice actors speak out about this. I've seen people literally glorifying and slandering this man, lying about the things that he said, mischaracterizing him, and it's ridiculous. Charlie Kirk deserves so much more than to be killed by this absolute human scum of a person. This dude's a demon. He's not even a person. He left Antifa slogans and rhetoric at the crime scene. He said, "Hey fascist," catch on one of the bullets. He's an absolutely disgusting human being. And this is what people don't get. Where does this man get these ideas from? He was an average Redditor over on r/all. He was obviously in a lot of Discord servers and was talking to people about, the rifle, where to get a gun illegally. He's talking about all sorts of things that basically led to them catching him in these crimes over on Discord, I believe. But this rhetoric of, hey, Charlie Kirk is a fascist, that does not come from the right. That only comes from one place. And the sad thing about what happened with Charlie is that he was the last person willing to actually go and speak to these people to try to change their minds and disagree with them and try to prove them wrong. And when words are met with violence, the only response left is violence. They're not going to come talk to you if they believe that they're going to get shot. If they come to you at all, it's going to be with violence, and it's ridiculous. And there's no reason why we should allow that to be what comes about from this. That should not be. There are two options forward from this. One, you give up on speaking altogether and you only react with violence. Two, you speak more, and that is it. And that's what I'm going to do from this point on. I have been fully radicalized from the response on the left to know that I should not align with them ever on anything. I should never vote the way that they vote, should never speak the way that they speak, and should never think the way that they think, because they have proven to me to be immoral, absolutely reprehensible people that you should never, and I mean never, align with. And it is absolutely disgusting that anybody is even defending these people right now, defending them, mocking Charlie's death as the freedom of speech right now. It's insane. They're not going to jail for it. They're losing their jobs. And do you know why? Because who wants to employ or, be employed by pawn scum that have absolutely no, and I mean no, respect or dignity for human life? It's disgusting. It's insane. And I've been fully radicalized. And one of these people on this panel here, this guy over here on the left, Chunky Yogurt, old Chunk, it absolutely is one of the causes of this. This is somebody that actively speaks out, calls people on the right fascists, says that they're dangerous to society, and him, along with a lot of politicians, do the same. So let's just get into this.
I'd like to ask Cenk. I have 10
Chunk. His name is Chunk.
Put up about Charlie Kirk. They are on his channel right now, and let's see if Cenk believes that these are true. Charlie Kirk says prominent black women took white people's spots. Charlie Kirk boasts about his all-white basketball team. Charlie Kirk gives piggish advice to high school girls. Ex-employee exposes Charlie Kirk's grift. Charlie Kirk embarrasses himself. Charlie Kirk's brain melts explaining anti-vax conspiracy. Charlie Kirk rants about women in their 30s. Charlie Kirk has literally no clue how the real world works.
Charlie Kirk was not a misogynist. He was not a racist. He was a God-fearing, loving human being that wanted the best for all, and that was it. And that's the only thing that should be said about him. Anything else is literally trying to glorify and justify his death because you said things that were terrible about him.
Charlie Kirk gets triggered, declines appearance over pronouns. Charlie Kirk doubles down on women-hating backlash. I am telling you, peers, Charlie Kirk was one of the best human beings I ever met. He did not have a bone of racism, misogyny, or anything else in his body. But liars lie, and they gin up otherwise good people. From the little bit we know about this shooter, he had a stable household, he was going to college, he was fine.
You know what's ridiculous? I have never, and I mean never, seen someone so defamed and lied about and mocked and just celebrated after they were just assassinated. It is ridiculous. It is insane to defame and lie about this man so much. Every single left-wing media right now is literally lying and propagandizing about things that Charlie said, misrepresenting and mischaracterizing him. Do you know their number one grift, even my head mod's number one grift with Charlie Kirk? It was the fact that he was pro-life. Do you know why he was pro-life? It's because he was Christian. It comes with the territory. We have the freedom of religion for a reason, people, and that you don't deserve to die due to you being a Christian and defending your beliefs. That is insane. It is ridiculous. This needs to be spoken up about now more than ever.
Know where this stuff is coming from, and please let's not pretend that this thing is going both ways, because it is absolutely not. I also have well, you know what, Cenk, I'll ask you a question directly, actually. Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be killed? Yes or no?
Of course not.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. But they are absolutely terrified. Now, after all of their violent rhetoric, now they want to say, which of course is always the case, they say the most outlandish things, call people Nazis, call them fascists, say they're basically Hitler, that they're dangerous to society. And then whenever political violence occurs, all of them, even Bernie Sanders, say things like, oh, political violence is never acceptable. We should not be doing this. And then they go right back to the same speech that they were doing beforehand. And all the while, through all of it, they tell the right to curb their speech and curb their rhetoric. And it's insane. The right now is not the one that should be curbing their rhetoric. They're the ones that just had one of theirs killed. They should not be curbing their speech. It's the Democrats that should be trying to de-escalating. And you're seeing the exact opposite. You're seeing them tell the right to de-escalate, because the right is always the one that turns the other cheek, and the left keeps smacking. They smack them and they say turn the other cheek, and hit them again and say turn the other cheek, and it's ridiculous. Even so, we should still be the bigger people. We should still be the bigger person. We should be more outspoken now than ever, because we have proven that it is their ideas that cannot hold up in reality, that cannot hold up in the marketplace of ideas. And it's clear that we are winning. And these basic American ideals are what hold up in reality, and it's what we should stand by, and we should be going out now and speaking out now more than ever. If we allow them to silence us and be afraid to speak our minds, then we will just turn to violence all the more. And we have continued to be the bigger and better person, and until there is no laws in this country, we should continue to be the bigger and better people. But that being said, this is the kind of speech that they go forward with, and you wonder why this person literally thought that Charlie Kirk was a fascist, and why all Republicans are fascist and not just, center right or basically moderate. It's because of speech like this.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge...
They think that nationalism is fascism, that you can be a nationalist communist or a nationalist fascist. It is not. It literally goes with both. Okay, nationalism is a good thing. You are supposed to be proud of your country, but too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. And somebody being a nationalist does not make them a fascist, and somebody being a nationalist conservative does not make them a fascist. And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. It's the same argument that they're using against the UK right now for why they shouldn't be, absolutely overran with illegal immigrants, absolutely abusing the asylum system. They're supposed to have so much suicidal empathy that they're supposed to allow their entire culture of Western society to be eroded by Sharia law. And it's ridiculous. It's insane. And they'll continue this argument until the temperature around the political spectrum heats so much that they actually become afraid. And then they'll finally slow down a little bit, but it won't be for long.
A huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist.
Charlie Kirk was not fucking a Nazi. He was not Nick Fuentes. He was not, he was not racist in the slightest. He was barely a nationalist, and he was basically a moderate.
Nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over.
Democracy is allowing the freedom of speech. Exactly what happened with Charlie Kirk is the opposite of democracy and the opposite of freedom of speech. And it erodes our civilization even further,
This country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
And they think because Charlie Kirk supported Trump and Trump is that bad, that Charlie Kirk is that bad. First and foremost, Trump isn't that bad. Second and foremost, neither was Charlie Kirk. No anywhere even near close. You can hate Trump all you want. You can say he's a bad leader. You can't say he's basically Hitler, because he's not. Hitler did way worse things. Nazi regime did way worse things. And Donald Trump doesn't even come close to what real fascism looks like. They don't even know what the word means anymore. And it's so overused that it's ridiculous. But put it into perspective. This is what has absolutely, and I mean really, radicalized me over the past couple of days. It is things like this. It is people on the left that call themselves quote unquote intellectuals that absolutely celebrate and glorify the death of a good and honest man. And it's insane just because he had different political views than they did. New president of Oxford Union celebrates Charlie Kirk's death. This is horrific. The very same man who debated Charlie when he attended Oxford University earlier this year now cheers his death. The dude had the opportunity to talk to Charlie, and still he wanted him to die. That is ridiculous. It's insane. As you can see down here, he said in a tweet, Charlie Kirk got shot. Let's fucking go. How absolutely reprehensible is that? Another thing I wanted to draw a conclusion to was this dude that was cheering almost immediately after he was shot, that it seems that other people are finally now noticing. And it's very suspicious. The dude says that he was cheering USA to give the security time to react, and that's why he was cheering whenever he was shot. I really think that they need to look into whatever groups these people are involved in on social media, their Reddits, their Discords. There needs to be real justice here, not some proxy, okay? Another example of this glorifying and basically justifying the man's death rather than speaking good about him and just saying that he shouldn't have been shot. They try to damage the man's character, say that he was reprehensible, said that he said violent things, and that basically just to justify how he was shot. When somebody dies, you should basically just either say you don't condone political violence, they were a good man, thoughts and prayers. But that's exactly why the thoughts and prayers joke was used so much by the left during this to mock Charlie, was because they could tell that all the Democrat leaders that were saying thoughts and prayers didn't actually mean it, because they were using such violent, and I mean violent, rhetoric all along. This is Ilhan Omar. This is somebody that's a part of the Home Office or whatever the freak that absolutely does not deserve to be in the public office at all of America. This is what she had to say about Charlie Kirk.
What I do know for sure is that, Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
Charlie Kirk was way more important than George Floyd, always will be. He was a productive member of society. Now, every human life is a human life, okay? Every human life deserves the same amount of respect, but let's not compare Charlie Kirk to George Floyd. It is a way different situation, and it is just insane to actually say that he even downplayed it whenever he didn't.
He called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what black
people... He never downplayed slavery or what black people were going through.
Gone through in this country.
This is what I mean, where instead of saying good things, they say bad things to try to defame and lie about the man, to try to justify him being shot, because they think, even though they say they don't want political violence, it's really just upon them. And I'll tell you now, that is not how we should be. We should be the ones that are always in the right, because we have to be. They will nitpick every little thing that you and I say or think, so that meanwhile they say the most outlandish, ridiculous things, calling you a Nazi, calling you a fascist, overusing extreme terms until nobody even knows what the term means anymore. We have to be perfect right now more than ever, and basically we need to speak out right now more than ever, which is what I'm going to continue to do.
Juneteenth should never exist. And I think, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
He did.
Complete rewriting of...
No. He wanted a civil debate. He gave every single person, young, poor, old, black, white, brown, every single person an opportunity to speak to him. Every single person had an opportunity to speak to him, to say what they wanted to say. That's more than either of these people have ever done in the history of all of their careers. It's more than I've done. It's more than any other content creator has done. Nobody has given the people the opportunity to speak their ideas and argue their ideas more than Charlie Kirk, and that's what his assassination literally signifies the end of, and that's what their assassination of his character signifies the end of, and that's what they want. That's exactly what they want, which is why we should be speaking up more now than ever.
A complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, than to completely pretend that his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or
That's
so.
insane. That's insane.
And-
yeah, it is. That's the issue. That's why nobody believes you, because they can go check his channel at any time and see all the videos that he has made showing civil debate. All of them for years upon years. And that's why nobody believes them. Okay? Anyways, boys, I know that the political climate is extreme right now. I know you don't feel safe to go out and speak to the opposition. I know I don't even feel safe, but it's something that we must continue to do. Otherwise, Charlie's legacy will die. And I don't think that that is what should happen at all. I know that they continue to disregard your kindness for wanting to go and speak to them. I know that they continue to mock you, but that's just the state of the place that we're in right now. Whenever they spend 10 years brainwashing people to believe that you are a Nazi fascist and the enemy, it takes time to get them to believe that you're not. It takes time for them to realize that you're actually another human being across the aisle. And I just wish that that person that assassinated Charlie would have actually given him the chance to speak to him, but it's too late now. Rest in peace, Charlie. I hope and pray for his family that through these difficult times, because God knows that they need it. It's a terrible tragedy. Tomorrow in the UK, there's a big day going on. I'm sure that they're not going to let this happen. The turning point in the UK is not going to, stop what they're doing. They're going to continue to put up the good fight in the UK. May Charlie's legacy live on forever. Charlie is absolutely paper. And if you don't agree with me, you can just, you can leave. All right, boys, that's going to be it for me. I'll see all of y'all tomorrow. That's going to be it for me. GG's. Peace.